We're the new American gangsters, 'cause we speak bold, give no fuck about the haters. It can take freedom from a cold dead hands. We're locked in low for the last days, 'cause we're the new American gangsters, ready to die for this land.
Consistent with my real gender.
Ready to die for this land.
If you've been watching this show for any amount of time, then you are way ahead of the news that broke this week, but we're still going to recap it because the Tennessee establishment is trying to sabotage the MAGA and Make America Healthy Again movement, and we have to stop it. Okay, we're going to cover several different examples of how they are stabbing the MAGA movement and the Trump supporters in the back and how they do not represent your best wishes. We're also going to recap some of the news that we told you before the election, and that is that Venezuelan gangs have infiltrated Tennessee and that they are in every major city. It's convenient that none of that information came to light prior to the election and prior to Memphis passing their gun control referendums. We're going to cover that. And we are honored to have Connie Reguli, who is a nominee to join the MAHA team. MAHA is the abbreviation for Make America Healthy Again, if you didn't already know that. We are going to talk to her. We're going to find out exactly what that movement's all about, what her positions could be, and tell you how to vote for her. We have posted the link in the description so that you can vote for her. Please go through and do that. Connie has been on this show multiple times, and she is a true advocate for transparency, so please help us out that way. We're going to cover the 150 books that were up for review now in Rutherford County and what a colossal waste of taxpayer money that's going to turn into. But before we get started, we are in a really big push right now to try and to grow the show. And in order to do that, one of the things we have to do is to give a shout out to our sponsors. Today, the first sponsor of the day is A State of Creative. So what I want you to do right now is head on over to A State of Creative over on Facebook. They take some of the nicest, highest quality furniture, recondition it, repair it. They get it from estate sales, from when couples get married or divorced. They've got some amazing, I forgot the name of this chair, but it has nighttime mode, daytime mode. You definitely need to check it out. A State of Creative delivers, and if you mention the Patriot Punkcast, you will get $50 off whatever they are selling. New inventory every week, and like I said, they deliver. So even if you don't need a couch, tell your friends, family, and everyone you know. Then after you get done doing that, head on over to midtandkirby.com. There you can find out all the many reasons why I think you should own a Kirby. Now, I'm a little biased. I've been in the business for about 35 years, but they're truly the best machine that I've ever come across. I've been inside thousands of houses, and where most vacuums have some little straw tube that you get clogged up all the time, this thing will literally suck things out of the basement. That's a little bit of an exaggeration, but it cleans mattresses, unclogs drains, does everything you could ever want. And the best part is it's made in America and has a lifetime factory rebuild agreement. It's certified gold. All you have to do is click the button right there and preview one today. No obligation to buy, but you can put your payments off until after Christmas. And if you have an existing model, click on the service tab, have a service inquiry. We can even come and pick it up from your house, servicing areas from Jackson all the way to Kingsport. Then, like I said, we're working on growing the show. We are going to start putting out a lot more content. We've got a interview scheduled this week with the Tennessee Firearms Association. And we believe his name is Mr. Archie. We are going to be discussing their lawsuit against the city of Memphis. If you've not checked out our latest AI-generated music video, Crooked World, you need to. It actually ties into a news story came out this week about obliterated serial numbers on firearms and illegal Glock switches. Please check that out. We've also got another story coming out in the 13th district. It was meant to be out last week, but I've been having internet issues, so stay with us. And last but not least, please head on over to the support page. We are the fastest growing podcast that I've been able to find in the state of Tennessee, at least politically related. And we need help growing. We want to put out more shows. We're looking actively for sponsors. So if you know someone that wants to sponsor the channel, we're going to try to put out 2 to 3 shows a week. If you guys have a day specifically that you would like to see my pretty face some more, please let us know in the comments. And I also want to know if the people who contribute on a monthly basis would be interested in maybe a Telegram or a Discord channel where you guys can collaborate with each other. You can talk directly with me and Daniel. We can share things like the AI websites that we're trying out, share resources, advice, things like that, as just an extra perk. Start to build a community and see if we can't to help each other grow. Rising tide lifts all ships. Now that all of that business is taken care of, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and if you don't already have a Rumble account, create one. It's free. That way we can interact with you live. If you're watching on Facebook or YouTube, remember we will be cutting the stream off after we hear from Connie about the MAHA movement. And let's introduce my co-host. Helping me with this fantastic endeavor is my good friend and out-of-the-closet anarchist, Daniel Wagner.
I am here, ready and raring to go.
I think
point
it's
me in the right direction. Let's get this thing started.
I think it's going to be a fun show. I before we bring Connie in, I do want to you to share your thoughts on the AI music video.
On the AI music video, I think you and I had quite a few laughs as we were as you were bouncing it back and forth with me and whatnot. I think it's quite amazing the things that we can do now, and I think if for no other reason, if people will go check out that video and see what we've been able to do with AI technology in terms of actually memeing our local politicians and government officials and whatnot, and be able to put a different kind of light on the subject, for all the way from creating the clips, through pictures, through creating different lyrics for the song and whatnot, and actually creating the entire music.
All of it.
All of it. It's so cool. It's so cool the things we can do. So we can use these tools to fight the to fight for the cause. Fight for good.
Yep. Well, without any further ado, because I know she's anxiously waiting backstage, let's introduce everybody once again to our good friend and MAHA nominee, Connie Reguli.
Hey, how are you guys this evening?
We're good, Connie. How are you?
Oh, I am doing great, and I'll just tell you, I've been walking on clouds since November 5th. So I can hardly wait. Every day I'm just waiting for the next cabinet cabinet nominee, right? Like Matt Gaetz, are you kidding me? Like, I can't wait. I posted on Facebook, like, I can't wait for the first episode of Gatesgate.
Oh my God. Yeah. They're going to run out of different scandals and collusions and conspiracy theories to talk about. It's wild. It's been amazing seeing how the world has flipped over the past 4 or 5 years.
How long do you guys think it's going to be till we see a literal tweet saying, "Hey, that person said Russia once, therefore they're probably
right
colluding with Putin"?
Yeah, and I think that we're already seeing. We just talked about the AI. We're pretty sure that Daily Beast thing that's come out, that sounds real fishy. I don't know if it is AI or not, but a lot of people are speculating on it. So, Connie, tell us about the Make America Healthy Again movement and exactly what opportunity you have.
Yeah, so as everybody knows in our world, the last few weeks of the election were hot and heavy, right? We had Elon Musk, we had Robert F. Kennedy, we had Joe Rogan. I mean, like, everybody was jumping on board. And so, I was excited about all of them, and I've always been a Trumpster, so it didn't change my vote at all. But I was very excited to see Robert F. Kennedy because I truly believe in some of the values that he's expressed and the causes that he fought for. I know several people that work with me have worked with Children's Health Defense and have worked with him personally, but I always thought he was a Democrat, and so there was just this little barrier there. So when he, came to the good side and, announced that he was going to basically let Trump win, right? Because he was going to withdraw from all the states where he would pose harm to Trump. And then everybody kind of sat on the edge of their seat. Well, what was that going to translate into as far as the administration? So, as soon as we started seeing nominees come out, I was just watching them like crazy. So Robert F. Kennedy came up, of course, and I was just all my crew, all of my researchers. I'm like, you guys have got to let me know if you see anything on Twitter, whatever. Let me know. So first they said no, he was going to do something with the FDA, and then he just got appointed, I guess last week, or not appointed, but nominated to HHS. So HHS is Health and Human Services. That is about the largest department other than the Department of Defense. The Department of Defense is like, 40% of our budget. But then the next in line is HHS. And HHS covers a lot of ground. So HHS covers Medicare, Medicaid. It covers ORR, which is the Office of Refugee Resettlement. It covers ACF, which is the Administration of Children and Families, which is my little groove where I work all the time. Anybody who watches me knows that I'm always trying to work for the betterment of just the child welfare system. I keep DCS on their toes. They can't stand me. They hate me. They had me arrested. They had me prosecuted, flipped the prosecutions, but it's never ending. I just haunted them on their budget hearings last week. So what Robert F. Kennedy did, one reason he was able to gain as much ground as he did as an independent is he was masterful at using social media and the internet. And, everybody around me, I have said, if this election says one thing more than any other election we've ever seen, is social media is it. Right? Like Trump won because of social media.
It's the presidency of podcasters. I think I heard somebody, or the podcasters president, I've heard it referred to. And speaking of that, I don't mean to interrupt you. I saw some people in the chat. My internet's a little laggy, so if you see a jump in my screen, it's not your internet connection. The audio should be coming through fine. If it's not, that's probably a Rumble issue. You might just need to try to back it up 2 minutes and try to watch with just a little bit of a delay. I know that's one of the problems that Rumble has sometimes during peak hours. And then we had another Tennessee person, and since you're speaking of the cabinet and everything, Pete Hegseth.
Mm-hmm.
That's he's from Hendersonville, so it almost feels like old news with everything that's come down the line. So, what position in the MAHA movement exactly are you nominated for?
Well, so the nominations are really in sort of general areas such as health, homeland safety, et cetera. So they don't really open like positions. They just want to know what's your area of interest and what are your talents and skills and what does your curriculum vitae look like. And so I put in under, I think, peace and safety at home, because I'm really interested in the way families and children are handled on the home front. And there wasn't another category that really fit into that. So I have put in the nomination. We have 175 votes. They have closed nominations, but you can still vote. And if you open my vote, you will see a lot of people have actually put narratives and comments about me and their work with me. I think I have 22 different people who have put in their personal experience and personal expression. So, and then the way you vote is you click, it's kind of tricky. It's not very user friendly, but where you see that it says votes, you actually click there and it opens another window where you put your email in, and you do set up an account because they want to make sure that they don't have bots in there. So it does require you to set up an account, and I'm sure they'll put you on somebody's email list so you can delete it later. But you can vote. And so I'm working this angle, but this is not the only angle I'm working. I also have kind of a handful of people that are sort of helping me with the social media, pushing it on different platforms. I've already on X been in a couple of, what do they call them there, rooms or
There's spaces.
Spaces, yeah. Gone and done a couple spaces where there are people who really want some humanitarian. I have a great advocate in Canada who is actually she is working on rural health in Canada, but one of the neuroscientist that she's working with works with Robert F. Kennedy, has worked with him in the past directly. I also have like a 1 degree of separation from Robert F. Kennedy with other people that I've worked in advocacy here in Tennessee and also with Family Forward Project across the country. So we're going to work on votes probably for another week, a week and a half. And then I'm going to actually put it together in a resume form and seek it I may even seek it through my Congressman Andy Ogles or some of our other political people here. So I go to Washington a lot. Some of the people who are watching this may not know that. Our Family Forward Project core group goes to Washington about 4 times a year. We walk the halls. I go to Tennessee Tuesday. Every time I'm there, I'm in front of Bill Hagerty and Marsha Blackburn. I've been talking to Marsha Blackburn about child welfare reform, since 2016, almost 10 years now. So I just ask if you'll go on and vote and go ahead and make a reply or make a comment if you could. This is a huge opportunity. I already have a game plan. It's not that I'm going into this blind, y'all. I've done this for 30 years. I know exactly what we need. We need decentralization so that we can have effective oversight. We need uniform codes in the laws across the states, and we need internal audits because these states are wasting money. And I'm hoping I can get Elon in on that, on his Doge department, so that we can start sorting out the fraud, waste, and abuse in the child welfare system.
I really hope that the Doge is as effective as it can be. I know that basically they're just going to put everything on the internet and let the transparency take care of itself.
Well, I'll say I wrote a couple of proposed laws for this coming year. I didn't have time to get them out and shop them, but one of them they're all about transparency and accountability and First Amendment, et cetera. But the transparency one, I basically said, you know what, in today's world, everything should be on the internet. All of your meeting minutes, all of your meetings should be live streamed. There is no reason in the world in today's day and age why we can't have access to all government information with a click of a button.
So on that note, and I hate to keep pressing this. Okay, we want this episode to be a bit of a fundraiser, if that makes sense, for local independent media of all sorts, of which we do happen to be one of those independent stations. But it's really important that we fight all of those establishment causes that have infected everything, the bureaucracy, the red tape. And I would encourage anyone who is watching this to understand that we have, I know Connie said at the beginning that she was able to breathe a sigh of relief because Trump won. But in Tennessee, our battle has just begun, and I just want to take that time to remind everyone that the little voices can be effective, and that we need to support that so that we can get messages out, like some of the stuff that Connie's covered. How do you compare to some of the other people in terms of how many votes you've got? Can you see other people's vote tallies?
Yeah, I have looked at them. There's a few people. There's one guy who has a lot of votes. I think he had run for Congress. I'm not sure if he won. But I have a quite a bit compared to, the average Joe. I mean, a lot of people popped people up there on there to nominate them, but they didn't really get out and get any more votes. So my goal is around 300 because these are people who know me mostly, or who've seen me or know something about me. They're going there to vote for Connie Reguli. So, I'm hoping if I want to push it up to about 300.
I saw a comment from someone who regularly comments, and they wanted me to ask you that if there's any openings for someone to put a boot in the rear end of some swamp rats. I think you know who that is. And also on the live streaming of meetings, one of the things that we're trying to do as a network to grow is every time we find a meeting that is not being live streamed, we'll send someone out there if we have a volunteer in the area, and they'll live stream it. And about 2 or 3 meetings later, all of a sudden, now all the meetings get live streamed. And it's because they don't want you having control of the comments. They don't want there to be transparency. Well, we are actively looking for people in different counties who will at least go to these meetings or watch them and give us a 1-minute report. And then we'll use our platform to raise awareness to those issues. So, just one of the things to put out there in your circle, because I know you're all over the country, but you have a lot of connections in Tennessee.
Yeah, and I don't really think I'm that special, but my claim to fame for notoriety and viral videos are really two different things. One of them is during the pandemic, I went to Wells Fargo and I refused to wear a mask, and I was live streamed. I didn't live stream it, I recorded it. And so then I posted it, and it was ultimately grabbed by Benny Johnson and a couple other people. And I think through their pushing it, not through, and they're snatching it and stealing it, but it got about 5 million views. You cannot see my face, but for anybody who knows me, you can't miss my voice. You can tell it's me. And then the second one was where I live streamed at 10 o'clock at night a baby snatching by DCS in the Wendy's parking lot. And by morning, 200,000 people had seen that. I mean, I got up and, put sweats on over my pajamas and went there, and all the cops were there. And I walked up to all the cop cars to talk to them, and they all got in their cop cars and rolled their windows up. And so participating in real life and a lot of what I do through Family Forward is educate people to be present in the moment. Civic engagement is our new part-time job. I want people to be activated. I want you to figure out what your role is. I mean, it's like you mentioned Tennessee Firearms. I think they do great. I am not a firearms person. I don't know enough of the law about firearms, and they don't care about child welfare. That is fine with me, because we all need to specialize somewhere so that we are the experts on that topic.
And one of the things, and we'll discuss this more in depth later on in the show, the establishment kind of has a monopoly on those positions right now. They have an expert, generally a lobbyist, in every field, and we have to find a way to boost the voices of the people who are fighting these battles and to find a way to support them. So now, when does the voting close? What can people do to make sure that you cross that finish line and that your name gets brought up enough to get a position?
Yeah. So other than voting, for those who know me, I haven't used X a lot in the past because our efforts have been by creating a group. So we have used the Facebook platform because we can create a community on Facebook. And so, but I have done so many rallies and speaking and been out. And I mean, I have some 200 videos, I think, on my YouTube, just me being out there talking to people. And so I am using, making clips out of those and passing around more short reels and clips either on TikTok or X or Instagram. So if people would follow me and share on those platforms, then that will help spread the word, because I can tell the story better than anybody else. So if they will just follow me and they see me with a reel or a clip or something, just go ahead and repost it, share it, so that we just keep that discussion going.
That's one of the things that I want everyone to kind of understand too, is that the interactions and how long you watch a video, those are all factors in the algorithm. And if you can share a link to something off platform, obviously through Messenger and on the platform is great, but if you can post it on a different platform, screen record it, take a clip yourself and post it. We're trying to, I don't think Connie's going to come after you for sharing her TikTok. Okay. We want people to take this message and to spread it, because the forces are against us. The newspapers, the local news media, most of the politicians, all of the lobbyists, and it's an uphill battle. So,
well, and here's one thing I want everybody to think about right now. Trump cannot do it by himself. He can't do it by himself. That's how we got in a mess the last time, right? The 2016 to 2020 is he went in there and he won and he was the boss man, but he can't do it by himself. And so all he did was look around him at the people who come crawling up to him, like Mike Pompeo, and Comey and all those guys, and saying, we're here, we're experts, we're going to help you. And they didn't. And so it is so critical and so important that we look at this administration and look and say, is there some place I can participate? What is that? What does it look like? It doesn't have to be in Washington, D.C. It can be, just joining forces with other people, creating small groups that have a common interest that we want to change. We have such a huge opportunity right now. In the area that I work in, the federal laws that have been in place for 40 years have actually expired. And we are continuing to fund them. We're continuing to default under the same process. And this is the time President Trump could end the whole thing with the swipe of a pen, because the law is actually expired. So we've got to look for whatever you're interested in, if it's wildlife or guns or education or child welfare or whatever it is. Just look for other people that you can work with and that we can create a force for change.
I think it's also helpful that you don't have Q and all the Anons out there screaming about trust the plan, just sit back and wait, it'll be fine, just trust no,
Right.
y'all got to get out there and actually do stuff. You got to make moves. You can't just sit back and hope that Trump solves all your problems for you.
Yeah. Well, one of the things on my to-do list this year is to get rid of the corrupt judge that made up a fake crime to prosecute me and make me a felon. So
wait
Get
a
him,
minute,
Connie,
wait a
get
minute. We're on Facebook. There's absolutely no corrupt judges in Tennessee. None.
No.
Okay, let me say creative for the
Sarcasm.
very creative judge who decided to act like a lawmaker and rewrite the law. So yeah, he was just a creative judge. Let me say it that way.
I love creative judges.
Yes. Well, the creatives are the ones that get paid the most, right? Isn't that what you always say, Daniel?
Well, they will be. They will. That's a whole other topic. But yeah.
Yeah.
You know where else you can find more creative stuff is over on Rumble, because I think we're fixing to shut down Facebook and YouTube, aren't we?
Yes, we are. But before we do, I just wanted to say, on that note, first off, make sure you go over there and subscribe on Rumble at Patriot Punk Network. If you're looking for it, if you just type in Patriot Punkcast, you can find us. We'll also be on X. But we really do have a long, big battle ahead of us. Okay. And I know that's not the best, most professional way to word it, but we have a massive battle ahead of us. And the amount of people, and we're going to discuss this more on Rumble, but the amount of people that are about to do a lot of big government, pro big money favors are going to do it all in the name of Trump. And we have to make sure that we can combat that. So please go help Connie out, and then find us over on Rumble at Patriot Punk Network. So thank you for watching. All right. So while Daniel is clicking those channels off over on YouTube, now we can get a little bit more spicy.